फिल्म है द कश्मीर फाइल्स, इसने एक वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड बनाया है पहली बार विश्व के इतिहास में।
मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि मैं किसी चीज में वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड तोड़ूंगी, लेकिन मैंने तोड़ दिया है।
वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड बनते देखना अपने आंखों के सामने बड़ी बात है, वो भी जलेबी का वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड।
मेरी कंपनी कैलबे वाटर एंड सोडा ने इंटरनेशनल बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड में अपना नाम दर्ज कर लिया है।
वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड की हैट्रिक बना के अपना नाम इंटरनेशनल बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स दर्ज करवा जा रही है।
Hello everyone, my name is Isabel. I'm 5 years old. Today I'm going to read for you Oliver Twist, which is a very famous English classic, as you all know. Thank you, International Book of Records, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, start.
Chapter 1, In the Workhouse. One night in a town about 70 miles from London, a beautiful young woman was found on the street. She was taken to a workhouse, but she died giving birth to a boy. No one knew who his mother was, so her son was given the name Oliver Twist. At first, Oliver had a foster mother. She was given money to feed him, but she kept most of it for herself. When Oliver was 9 years old, he was sent back to the workhouse to learn to do a job. Life was very hard and the children there were always hungry. The only food they were given was porridge. Good, said the boy. I know a nice old man who will look after you. Come with me and you'll be fine. My name is Zach, but people call me the Artful Dodger. That is not the name of an honest person, thought Oliver. Then the Dodger gave Oliver a piece of bread. Oliver didn't trust the Dodger, but he followed him. He was hungry and tired, and he needed a bed and some hot food. The policeman took Oliver to the police station. He didn't know it, but the old man who owned the handkerchief, Mr. Brownlow, was following them. A different boy stole my handkerchief, Mr. Brownlow said. Also, I think this boy is ill. At that moment, Oliver fell to the ground, so the policeman carried him outside and left him on the street. Chapter 4, Nancy looks for Oliver. Mr. Brownlow took Oliver home with him. When the boy woke up, he was in a soft bed in a nice room. Mr. Brownlow and Mrs. Bedouin, his servants, were there. Nancy was afraid of the police, and she didn't want to go. Then a very large man called Billy Sykes stepped forward. If you don't do it, I will hit you, he shouted. Nancy was more frightened of Sykes than the police, so she agreed. When she arrived at the police station, Nancy began to cry. Oh, my little brother has disappeared, she said. I must find him. The policeman was a kind man, and he thought Nancy was being honest. An old man took him away. He said he lives in a house in Pendlebury, in North London. When Fagin heard this news, he immediately sent Nancy back out with the Dodgers to Pendlebury. Don't come back without Oliver, he told them. Chapter 5. The gang finds Oliver. Mr. Brownlow looked everywhere for Oliver. He sent people to search for the streets. Through one day and night, he put a letter in the newspaper which offered money for information, but Oliver could not be found. Chapter 6. The house in the countryside. A few days later, Nancy took Oliver to meet Bill Sykes at his house. Nancy did not want to do this because she cared about the boy, but she had no choice. Bill showed Oliver a gun. You know what this is, don't you? He asked. Oliver nodded. You and I are going out. A servant at the big house heard a noise outside and opened the door. That's the boy from last night, the servant shouted. He pulled Oliver into the house. Please be quiet, kids, said the voice. Don't wake my aunt. Then a young woman walked down the stairs. Oh, that poor boy, she said. Please carry him to a bedroom. Be careful with him. The young woman rose, asked a doctor to see Oliver. Dr. Losbert told Rose and her aunt that Oliver's arm was broken. It will get better, he said, but he must rest for many weeks. Rose, her aunt, and Dr. Losbern were very kind to Oliver, and he slowly got better. Oliver was grateful, but he really wanted to find Mr. Brownlow. A few days ago, a young girl called Nancy came to see me. She told him she was very frightened, but she cared a lot for Oliver. She said that a man called Monks went to see Mr. Fagin. She heard them talking about Oliver. What did they say? Asked Mr. Brownlow. Monks said that Oliver was his younger brother. Rose said when Monk's father died, his will said that all of his money was now Oliver's. Monks wanted someone to kill Oliver because then he would get all of the money. Then Rose started to cry because she was frightened for Oliver. Where can we find this terrible man? Asked Mr. Brownlow. Nancy said she will be on London Bridge every Sunday night at midnight. Rose replied, she can tell us where to find him. Mr. Brownlow immediately sent men to look for monks. They went to all the public houses that Nancy spoke about, and finally they found him in one of them. They put monks in a carriage and quickly took him to Mr. Brownlow's house. "Go outside and lock the door," Mr. Brownlow said to the servants. Then he and Monks were alone. Chapter 10. Edward Leaford. "I thought it was you," Mr. Brownlow said sadly. "Your name is really Edward Leaford. You're my best friend's son. Your parents divorced and your father married another woman. She died giving birth to your brother Oliver." "That's a lie," shouted Monks. "No, it isn't," said Mr. Brownlow fascinatedly. "As soon as I saw Oliver, I knew that he was my friend's son. He looks just like his mother. But picture hands in this house. When the boy disappeared, I decided to look for you. I found out that you went to the West Indies, and I followed you there. But then you came back." When Fagin heard about Nancy's meeting with Mr. Brownlow, he was furious. He sent Bill Sykes to kill her, but Sykes couldn't find Nancy. She never came back from the meeting on the bridge. Then the police arrested Fagin and Sykes. They went to court, and both men were sent to prison. Mr. Brownlow became Oliver's foster father. They lived together in the countryside with Mr. Brownlow's servant, Mrs. Bedouin. Oliver loved the green fields and the flowers and the trees. He also had his father's money now, and his future suddenly looked very good. For the first time in his life, Oliver was completely happy.